I knew that I finally crashed and felt completely burnt out when I had my third baby and I was sitting at the kitchen table crying with mom guilt that my third kid just wasn't getting enough of me. I had calculated that between the hours of 9 and noon during the week, I was putting my baby in and out of the car seat 12 times. This was because my older two kids were in two different schools and I had to transport them both ways. And every time I had to put my baby in and out of the car seat to get in the car to drive to school, to get out of the car to drop the kid off, to get back in the car to drive back home, to get out of the car, then to get back in the car. It was, seriously, take my word for it, 12 times. By the time we got home, he would have enough time to take a short nap and then get back in the car to do the pickup round. I was burnt out and I felt so guilty. I felt so terrible for him. I felt like he wasn't getting the mommy that my first two got. But burnout doesn't happen all at once. It creeps in quietly, and by the time you notice it, you're already in survival mode. I don't want that for you. I should have seen the signs and I should have seen it coming. One time I made a doctor's appointment because I had chronic headaches. I woke up in the morning with a headache. I had a headache all day. No amount of medication would even touch it. And my doctor said, you need to take care of yourself and you need to get sleep. I remember going back to the doctor saying something is off. I don't know what is wrong with me. And again, he told me, you are burnt out. You need to do absolutely nothing this weekend. And that's what I did. I literally stayed in bed the entire weekend. Now, instead of crying to your doctor that something is wrong and you don't know what is wrong with you, let's figure out how you can see the signs for yourself and avoid burnout. Know what signs to look for, because once you've crashed and burned, it is so hard to climb out of that space. So sign number one is that you're irritated by everything. All the questions, all the lights, all the sounds, the freaking kitchen cabinets being open despite closing them 25 times a day, the sound of your child's toy on repeat. If all of these things are irritating you, you need to just do your best to remove one irritant. Maybe that means you go to a different room with your child where those obnoxious toys are nowhere to be found. All they have are books and puzzles, stacking toys, quiet toys. Sign number two is that you are emotionally disconnected. You might be feeling numb, like you're just going through the motions, like you're physically there, but you're not there. What you need to do is have a designated no screen time. Instead of feeling distracted by what's going on your phone or the TV or any other screen going on in your home, they need to all be turned off, put away, and instead of being distracted, you need to become connected. Pick a specific activity to do with your child or your whole family. Go for a walk, go play outside, play a card game, do something together that is building that connection back up, because right now you are disconnected. Your body is here, but your brain is everywhere else. Come back and recenter your life. Sign number three is when you just keep thinking, I just need to get through this. Now, I remember I was just telling a client this story, and I remember waking up at 7 a.m. with my baby because that was our wake up time. And I remember counting down until his first nap and thinking, I just need to get through this. And honestly, that is a sign that you're already in survival mode. Not a good sign. So instead, you need to ask for help. You need to build routines. If your child is not sleeping, that is when you ask for a sleep consultation. You get in touch with me, you ask for help to get your child sleeping so that you can sleep and you can feel rested and rejuvenated in the morning. Now, again, I tell you these stories because I have been through it myself. And to be quite honest, I have not been the best at maintaining not being burnt out because I have a hard time asking for help. I also have a toxic personality trait, I guess, where you could say that I feel like people around me should know what I need. I feel like they should know what I need help with. If the dishes are loaded up in the sink and I've been running around crazy, now my kids are school age where they are active in sports after school. And if I didn't have time to do the dishes, I feel like my husband should just his brain should know that I need him to help me and get the dishes done, but that's not the case. The way that we work in our house is that I'm responsible for the dishes and he's responsible for the laundry. So if I am overwhelmed and the sink is overflowing with dishes, I just automatically think that he should know I'm overwhelmed and I need help. But that's like rarely ever the case, especially with men who have a one-track brain and they think, hey, I just got to worry about the laundry. It is so simple to just ask for help, and that is exactly what you need to do. If you need help with sleep training or potty training, then I want you to go to the link in the description box down below that says book a consultation and let me help you. I am here to support you and be the support that I never asked for, and that is exactly why I started this business, is because I know what it's like to need support so badly, but you don't want to ask for it. So I am here in a 100% non-judgmental way to help support you and help you thrive. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep blooming. Mwah.